Well, hello. It is a new day. A new day. Oh, a lot to talk about from yesterday. So let's just get right into it. So, people who've been following, you know that before I was discharged from the hospital, they found a leak in my esophagus. Well, the surgeon was confident that it was just a really small leak and that it just needed a little bit more time to heal. And so he went ahead and discharged me, just told me that not to eat or drink anything, nothing by mouth. Give it a little bit more time to heal, and it's going to come back in for them to do another x-ray. So the x-ray, the swallow test, the follow-up one was Monday, day before yesterday. So I show up, and right away the x-ray doctor, because it's the actual doctor doing the x-ray, he's trying to find out why I'm there and the way things evolved for me being there. And I told him on the previous test that everything looked fine until I was laying down flat, so flat that it actually felt like I was inverted a little bit. And when I was taking sips of the liquid at that time, you could see a leak. It's like there was a little channel that was veering off. And so he said, okay, we are going to start in that position today. That's the position we're going to start in. So they put me on my back, and I mean, it is very painful. My back problems have gotten so much worse since the surgery because I haven't been able to move around and be as active as I usually am, and it's just all my muscles are so stiff, and everything's just made so much worse, and I'm still dealing with the surgical pain as well. But anyway, I'm on my back and I'm taking a sip, and then he has me change my position ever so slightly, and he just keeps taking images. And I said, well, things must be looking pretty good if you're taking so many images, And he said, no, sir, I'm sorry, it doesn't look good. I mean, the leak is still there. He said, if anything, the leak has gotten bigger. He said, I'm just taking images from different angles so that the surgeon can see exactly where it is. So, of course, I was devastated at that point, because I was really hoping for a good report. So I leave that exam room, and I'm just full of anxiety, and I'm still hurting so bad. I get back to my appointment with the surgeon, and I went over everything with them, and to just cut the details of the appointment short, he said, well, look, we don't want this leak to get any bigger than it is. And so we need to go in and put a stent in and seal it off so that it can heal, and to keep anything else from going, any other fluids that you swallow from going the wrong way. He said, I'd like to get you in tomorrow morning, which was yesterday morning. He said, that'd be okay with you? And I said, absolutely, let's get it taken care of. Let's go ahead and do it. So they told me I had to be there at 5:30 in the morning. They also said that I had to disconnect myself from my feeding tube before midnight, no later than midnight the night before. And so that I was still supposed to take my medications, and that I could push water through my J-tube up until 5 a.m. So disconnected about 10:30. I was so exhausted, I just wanted to go to sleep. So I disconnected at 10:30 and I went to sleep, and I woke up about 10 minutes till 4. I gave myself my pain medication through the J tube at like 4 a.m. And then I left right at 4:30 a.m. I went to the hospital because I was supposed to be there at 5:45, and then they always say like be 15 minutes early, yada yada yada. So anyway, we get there at like 5:15, 5:20. It was after 11 o'clock. It was after 11 o'clock before I got called back to pre-op. So now keep in mind, I've been disconnected from feeding since 10:30 p.m. the night before. My last dose of pain meds was at 4 a.m. So yeah, it was really rough. So anyway, they get me back to pre-op, and I'm in pre-op for another hour, just waiting on my turn. Probably a little bit more, between an hour and a half. They go back and to do the procedure. I mean, everything that I'm sitting on, having to lay on, is just like torture. I mean, I know I'm like a broken horse, keep talking about the pain, but I'm telling you, that's a big part of it, because I mean, this was just bad. Anyway, you know, the routine, you know, you go, they tell you you go to sleep, you know. Well, I wake up, the procedure's over with, and the nurse is there, a nurse, and I can't remember the exact wording, but to summarize, she conveys to me, she tells me that the procedure's over with, that they did not put a stent in, that they could not find a leak, that I'm not going to talk with the surgeon because I'm still under anesthesia, apparently. According to them, I'm still under the effects of anesthesia, so I'm not going to talk to the surgeon. But the surgeon has talked to my mother, and my mother is supposed to third hand, you know, give me all this, you know, vital information about how this very life-changing, you know, procedure has went. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't even get to talk to the surgeon. What's going on? I mean, they did not put a stent in. I mean, they couldn't find a leak. I mean, I'm just like, part of me feels like I haven't even woke up yet. Like I'm still just in a bad dream, or maybe it's a good dream. I don't even know. Anyway, what it seemed like an eternity, I'm waiting on my mother, and then she comes, and she tells me that they went in, that they could not find a leak, and that the X-ray doctor had misinterpreted what they saw on the images. That everything was still going where it was supposed to go. It was just kind of doing a little bit of a hook. So I said, well, I understand the hook part because I saw the hook, you know, pathway on the imaging, but I also saw it pooling in my medium sternum, which is what the X-ray doctor, both times had said, and I saw it myself. So I told my mother, I said, if it's hooking but it's still going where it's supposed to be, how is it pooling? How is it possible that it's pooling in my medium sternum? I mean, wouldn't it just be hooking and going down into my stomach? Well, I don't know, and you'll have to talk to them, and da 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 da. So I mean, now I'm just like, great. I mean, it's like nobody can tell me what's going on, and I feel really uneasy about everything, and so my plan is that I'm just going to go ahead and get out, and then I'll contact them, and that I'm not going to have anything. I'm not going to take anything by mouth until they get it straightened out. So that's my plan. Well, my mother's like, no, don't even sign anything. Don't even sign anything to leave until you talk to your surgeon, which, kind of makes sense. But I had brought my feeding machine with me. So I I went ahead and flushed and got myself hooked up to my feeding machine. And a little while later, the nurse comes in and says, yeah, no more feeding today. Let your stomach get adjusted after the thing. I'm like, well, I'm already hooked up now. She's like, well, it may make you nauseous. And so I'm thinking, well, I've been off since 10:30 last night. Like my body's like, I don't feel hunger, but my body is like screaming in some kind of language that it needs something. So anyway, I just stay hooked up to the machine. We're waiting on the resident to come and explain to us what's happening. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And they went in to do the surgery. And put the stent in, and then they looked and they could not find the leak. And I said, well, I saw it on the x-ray. And they said, well, what it is when we stretched your stomach up, it made a little pouch to the side of the esophagus at the top. And he said, what's happening you see on the x-ray is that when you swallow, it's hooking to the side, but it's still going into that little pouch at the top. So it's pulling because I'm laying down, but it's contained in that little pouch. And when I'm upright, it just falls right down into the stomach. So there's no leak. Now, was this the way it always was? Or was there a miracle? I'm going to go with miracle, because of all the things that I've seen through this. And I'm just going to praise God that he took care of that situation. I didn't have to have a stent. I didn't have to go back in later on and have the stent removed. That everything looks healthy, and I can keep moving. I can keep moving to being healed and back at my life again. So praise the name of Jesus. Yesterday, in the end, was a really good day. So that's where we are. That is where we are right now. We have a healed connection there. Everything looks as it should, and we are being moved. I say we. I am being moved to clear liquids today. Now, of course, I'm still hooked up to the J tube, but every hour I'm supposed to have 60 cc's of clear liquid. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean clear liquid. I can have like juices, no pulp. Main thing is you want stuff that's like thin and easy for your body to process, So I actually haven't really drank anything yet. I had a couple of, I had a popsicle yesterday, and had a popsicle this morning. And it was so nice because my throat is so sore from the procedure yesterday. And it was just nice to be able to swallow, something nice and cold and tasty. So moving forward, I talked with the doctor yesterday about the situation, and we got the medications all straightened out. That's why I'm able to get up this morning and go for a walk. So it's so important for me to stay active, and my body, it still needs time to heal. So the plan is the surgeon's going to look after me and my medication needs until my appointment in the middle of January with the pain management team. And then I'll go over with them, and they'll, get me moved off that medication and more, and moved over to something more suitable for a regular lifestyle. So it's a great plan. I'm looking forward to. I feel so much better today. I feel so much better because, I mean, there's just, unfortunately with this, there's so many details, there's so many little kinks and things that need to be worked out, and it's hard. It's difficult. And I mean, I have a lot of experience because I've been dealing with these situations for over a decade. But for somebody else who's coming out of surgery and they're having adverse reactions, more specifically, they're having pain that's debilitating, that's keeping them from recovery, and because of all this red tape and Johnny's uncle, they just can't get the help that they need, and that's really sad when I think about it. So, but I'm in a good spot now. I'm enjoying my walk this morning. It's a beautiful day. This cold air feels good on my lungs, and looking forward to a great recovery and a great Christmas. So thank you all for your support, for following along, and wow, what a great place to be right now. Surgery's done. Surgery went well. We handled the post-op like a champ and got it to where we can actually have some clear liquids now. I mean, things are really going good. So to all of you, thank you so much for your support, and I hope that you're having a good day and enjoy the day you have. Thank you for giving us strength, for keeping us company through these difficult times. We're going to keep fighting. Thank you for helping.